This program is brought to you by Stanford University. Please visit us at stanford.edu.
Hi, I'm Martin Lewis, and I'm going to be teaching a class on the geography of U.S. presidential elections. I think we're all familiar with this map of a red and blue America from the 2004 election. Unfortunately, it's a rather misleading map, and if you map America in different ways, you see very different patterns. Democrats tend to prefer a map like this that shows states relative to their population size. We see a rather larger blue America. Republicans, on the other hand, might prefer a map that shows county-level data, which shows that even in blue states like California and Pennsylvania, most counties actually vote Republican. Independents and centrists might prefer a map like this that shows a purple America, because in most parts of the country, the voting pattern is fairly evenly divided. Well, what happens if we throw it all together, as Mark Newman and his colleagues at the University of Michigan have done? Here we see a very different America. Here we see one where the cities and inner suburbs are blue, or in the South at least purple, but they tend to be surrounded by the outer suburbs, which are very heavily Republican voting, so we see bright red rings. And the Republicans will note that these tend to be the fastest growing counties in the United States. This map, however, doesn't show us everything. We have to look at individual states to see some details. For example, in this map of Montana, we see that the handful of Democratic voting counties are either American Indian reservations. We also find mining areas with lots of unionized labor, and we also find a college town, University of Montana. In neighboring Idaho, an even more Republican voting state, we see one Democratic voting county, and it happens to be the location of Sun Valley, a major ski resort. And it so happens that the Democratic voting counties tend to be the richest counties and the poorest counties in the United States. We can't explain all of the county-level patterns, however, based on these demographic characteristics. In Tennessee, in the north, we see a number of Democratic voting counties that are almost entirely white, relatively poor, very rural, and very heavily Baptist in their religious orientation. To explain this, I think we have to look at it historically. There was one time when the voting pattern in the United States was almost entirely reversed. 1896, we see William Jennings Bryan, the Democrat, winning the South and the Midwest and losing the West Coast, the Upper Midwest, and the Northeastern states. And even as recently as 1976, Jimmy Carter ran very well in the South and not so well in the West or in certain states in New England. What will happen in the 2008 election? I suspect that a lot of those counties in northern Tennessee will be shifting to the Republican Party. We can't be sure. It promises to be an exciting election with a lot of surprises in store, and I hope you stay with us to explore the geographical patterns together. Thank you very much.
The preceding program is copyrighted by Stanford University. Please visit us at stanford.edu.